the lives of 3 people and injured 2 others. The crash happened around 1:30 on Sunday morning on State Road 46 at Main Street in Riley, Indiana. It happened when the vehicle left the road and crashed into a tree. When deputies got there, that vehicle was on fire. 18-year-old Christian Eubanks of Illinois, 19-year-old Jaden Muesli of Fort Wayne, and 19-year-old Caleb Van Hooser of Ohio were all killed. The names of the victims in Sunday's fatal crash are being released this afternoon. Besides Dixon, 19-year-old John Moore of Illinois also survived. Raider football took to Twitter to share thoughts and prayers for O'Marion today. The tweet reads, quote, "As many of you know, O'Marion was involved in a major accident overnight. He's out of surgery and still needs all the prayers that he can get. Fight on. Oh, you got this, 47. Well, today was the first day of class for students at Purdue University, and this year looks a little different than it has for the past couple. News 18's Marcus Truccio has the story.
Purdue's campus was bustling today. It's the first day of classes for students, but it's a little different than the start of past semesters. This is the first start to a school year in 3 years where there are no COVID-19 restrictions. No masks, no surveillance testing, and no limits in the classroom. Purdue is back starting the 2022 school year with no restrictions for the first time since the fall of 2019. According to Protect Purdue, there have been no hospitalizations throughout the summer, and most cases are mild. Even with no restrictions, the university is still monitoring the situation. Most Purdue students are excited to be completely back to normal.
Oh, it's awesome not to have to go to class and put a mask on your face to walk into a building, because it was always so uncomfortable to wear. For if you had a 2-hour lab or whatever, you couldn't, take it off, which is awesome. And everyone's kind of relaxed about it now, which it's not a thing of the past. Like, it's still something we obviously need to address, but I think everybody feels pretty good about being back. So,
according to an email sent out to students last week, Purdue is relying heavily on students' personal responsibility and is overall very optimistic for what this year has to bring. Reporting from Purdue, Marcus Truccio, News 18.
Well, incoming Purdue President Mung Chiang is joining Governor Eric Holcomb on a trade mission to Asia this week. Engineering Dean Mark Lundstrom is already with Holcomb in Taiwan. Chiang will join the group in Seoul, South Korea. Holcomb's office says he's the first U.S. governor to travel to Taiwan since the pandemic started. The trip follows 2 recent semiconductor industry announcements in Indiana and the signing of the Federal CHIPS Act. The delegation will focus on strengthening Indiana's microelectronics industry and academic partnerships. Chiang says he looks forward to attracting tech companies and jobs. Well, as students begin the fall semester today, the on-campus housing shortage is still an issue for some people. News 18's Perry Apostolakos is live on campus this afternoon. She has more now on how long the shortage is expected to last. Perry?
Hey there, Jeff. University Residences is set to move some students into their permanent campus homes starting the week of August 29th. 54 students right now are living in temporary housing, and 16 more need to move in. In a welcome message to students today, President Daniels and Provost Akridge say the university sets another enrollment record this fall. 50,000 undergraduate and graduate students are now attending Purdue. As News 18 has previously reported, a spire at Discovery Park was purchased this year to add more beds for students. Purdue Student Government Press Secretary Evan Chris says the housing shortage has been an issue for years.
It's not a new phenomenon, but with social media, it seems like it's gained more attention, which is good because every student deserves to have a normal dorm situation when they get here.
The university currently estimates 38,000 of this year's record-breaking 50,000 students are undergraduates. To hear how many beds are now in university residences, come back for News 18 at 6. Reporting live in West Lafayette on the Purdue University campus, I'm Perry Apostolakos, News 18.
All right, Perry, thank you. The USDA's crop report shows Indiana is on track to see record-breaking soybean yields this year. The USDA is forecasting Indiana's soybean yield to be 60 bushels per acre. The report says Indiana farmers expect her to harvest 5.83 million acres of soybeans. That's up 190,000 acres from last year. Purdue Extension's soybean specialist Sean Castile says he was surprised by the report. However, he says Indiana can definitely reach the record-breaking soybean yields if Mother Nature cooperates. Castile says it's a critical time right now for beans.
So we need good temperatures, good sunlight, and the moisture to do that. It's just like any plant you've got at home, right? If you got a peace lily in the house and you haven't watered it, starts drooping down, it's not going to do as well. That's the same case of our soybeans right now. If we don't get the water to continue filling those out, we're not going to realize that 60 bushel.
Castile says the condition of soybeans in Indiana is all over the board right now. He says as long as we have moisture moving forward, he believes they can still yield well. Coming up on News 18 at 6, we'll hear from Dan Quinn about Indiana's corn crop. Quinn and Castile explain why the USDA's crop report shows more acres of soybeans will be harvested this year than corn. Well, Franciscan Health is looking to help people with prediabetes lower their risk of being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes later in life. Franciscan has announced a return of its diabetes prevention program. The year-long program is open to anyone 18 or older who has a BMI greater than 25. Participants must also have been diagnosed with prediabetes or meet the risk factors for it. The program will cover healthy eating, exercise, and stress management, among other topics. The group will meet once a week for 16 weeks, followed by 6 monthly meetings with a trained lifestyle coach. Diabetes educator Amanda Crosby says past participants have seen a variety of positive results.
They either A, reduce that A1C to the normal range. I've seen weight loss. I've seen people who came in and said, I don't do any exercise, so now they're getting at least 150 active minutes. I've even had some participants reach out to me after the program has ended, showing me how much weight they've lost, and so it's been a really amazing program.
The program begins September 8th at 10 o'clock in the morning. It'll take place at the Franciscan Healthy Living Center on North 16th Street in Lafayette. Space is limited. Registration ends on September 1st. Well, the Indiana Bacon Festival in Delphi is just a few short days away now. The 9th annual Bacon Fest is this Saturday, and the Carroll County Chamber says it's going to be better than ever. More than 50 different foods from multiple vendors will be available to try, and all of them are featured around, you guessed it, bacon. The festival attracts people from multiple neighboring states, and it's so popular that attendance at the event nearly triples the population of Delphi for a single afternoon. Julia Leahy with the Chamber says it would be wise to pre-order your ticket for the best price for entry to the festival.
The early bird ticket rate is only $8, and that gets you all 4 live music shows. So IndianaBaconFest.com is where you can get your tickets, and the day of the event they're $15. So get them before midnight Friday.
Well, this year's headliner is the nationally known Fog Hat. They're known for their hit Slow Ride. Other activities in Delphi this Saturday include a bacon eating contest, a kid zone, and a brew garden. Doors open at 2:30 and festivities kick off at 3. For more information, you can head to our website and click on the link in this story. Well, family, friends, co-workers, and public officials are all recognizing the 1-year anniversary of a deadly shooting outside a factory near Frankfort. As News 18's Joe Paul reports, the lives lost and the lingering questions still pain the community.
A parking lot outside this NHK seating plant is where a tragic and horrifying attack took place. A year later, the shooting that killed 2 beloved family members still haunts the Frankfort community. As we've reported, prosecutors seek the death penalty against Gary Farrell II. He faces 2 counts of murder and other felonies. Police say he shot and killed 21-year-old Promise Mays and her grandmother, 62-year-old Pamela Sled, as they were walking into work. The 3 were employees at the NHK seeding plant in Clinton County. Frankfort Police Chief Scott Shoemaker says the shooting still weighs heavily on residents and first responders here.
There was a lot of people that are still, upset, still scared, and also have to worry about, their own safety. So you just never know about what somebody might do to you, and so people just need to be vigilant.
NHK held a memorial recently recognizing the 1-year anniversary of the shooting. Friends, family, and employees gathered around a small memorial placed outside the factory. Farrell's criminal case is moving slowly through the court system. A judge canceled his jury trial scheduled for February and has yet to set a new date. Reporting in Frankfort, Joe Paul, News 18.
Well, just ahead, new developments tonight in the Donald Trump investigation, what the former president's legal team is considering when it comes to those Mar-a-Lago documents that everybody wants to see.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
Well, mid-80s right now at Lafayette and Attica. We're at 80 at the Grissom Air Reserve Base. Low 80s at Kokomo. And, of course, Marianne there in Remington. She's got low 80s. McGrady Farms, one of our other weather stations, great spotters in the area. They've got 81 right now and saying it's still pretty humid with these cumulus clouds kind of bubbling up over the area. And these may produce a small sprinkle or isolated shower in our eastern counties over the next hour. We got a small sprinkle here moving towards Roucheville and one down here in Tipton County. Otherwise, these clouds dissipate, and then overnight we'll see some patchy fog. The big weather story today from a national standpoint is the catastrophic flooding down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area after the second longest dry spell on record, and now they've gotten a foot of rain. This is all from a disturbance that originated in the Gulf and then moved up into Mexico and then right up into Texas. And we also had another tropical disturbance come out of the Pacific. So they both kind of combined together with the stalled front to bring the very heavy rainfall to parts of the Dallas area. All right, 82 at 7, 78 at 8. Again, skies becoming mostly clear to clear. 68 at 10 p.m. And then watch for the patchy fog to develop after about 4 in the morning. Some of that may be dense in some places, with a very light northwest wind, 58 in Greater Lafayette, but mid-50s Logansport, around 60 at Attica. For tomorrow morning, I had to do a comic book theme forecast for all the kids out there headed to school in the morning. Patchy fog, 58 at 6. At 7:58, some patchy fog, and then 66 by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Sunrise 7:05, but then it's Warm tomorrow afternoon. The fog all burns off. Just some fair weather cumulus clouds bubbling up. Highs back into the mid 80s, though upper 80s at Covington, 82 Logansport, 84 at Fowler. Wednesday, 84 to 90, a little hotter. Some patchy fog once again in the morning with 61, but an 88-degree high. Both days, not much wind, so it's certainly going to feel a little hotter tomorrow and on Wednesday. And there you see the highs from 89 at Attica, 86 Monticello, 85 over towards like Walton and Galveston. There's some of the fog, patchy fog around tonight. The fair weather clouds kind of bubbling up tomorrow. More fog tomorrow night. And some more fair weather, little cotton ball clouds bubbling up on Wednesday. Thursday, we're okay. It's pretty hot and a little humid, but a little front comes through Thursday evening, early Thursday night. Maybe a small isolated shower or storm. That is it. And then it's dry and just hot into the weekend. We may see a couple isolated storms by Monday. Normal high, 82. Again, Thursday evening, again, maybe an isolated storm, but after that, like I said, it's Monday to watch for maybe an isolated storm or two. Otherwise, it's pretty hot, and it certainly gets pretty humid by the weekend. Heat indices Sunday, Monday will be running upper 90s to around 100 degrees. A low on Monday morning, warm at 71.